Eye-opener. The devil you know. I always wondered how voters could continue voting for people like Nancy Pelosi. I've wondered how people could continue to vote for people like Mitch McConnell or Chuck Schumer or Elizabeth Warren or even AOC. And the only reason I could come up with is ignorance. Like Chris Osman, the author of The Solutions, Enough Complaining, Let's Fix America. I imagine that if people looked at these elected officials, decades of service, except AOC, they would question how each made so much money. Take Pelosi, for instance. At a salary that never exceeded $200,000 a year, she should only have a net worth of approximately $12 million, and that is if she never paid taxes and never spent a single dime of her earnings. Somehow, Nancy is worth more than $100 million. Mr. Osman has raised this and many more questions about America's top leaders over the years, and has been nothing less than surprised at how few people have raised these same questions. Of course, we now know that as a congressperson, Pelosi was privy to foreknowledge of laws that would impact any stock she owned. For the rest of us, that's insider trading. For Pelosi, that's simply Tuesday. The same questions arise around McConnell, who's been a public servant for as long as Pelosi and is worth close to $100 million, Chuck Schumer, whose financial story sounds similar, and even Elizabeth Warren, who started out opposing corruption. And now they're all complaining about Trump and Musk seeking to root out fraud, corruption, and abuse. Why would they oppose this? It's not like they've had up to 4 decades in some of their cases, while Trump and Musk have only had less than 2 months to earnestly dig into where our tax dollars have been going for the past 40-plus years. It seems that if Pelosi, McConnell, Schumer, Warren, and even AOC had an ounce of curiosity, they would have passed some law or laws to look into governmental waste, fraud, and abuse. And even given the argument that government takes a long time to turn around, or that only incremental changes can be expected, if the government, you would think that something would have changed in the 40 years of which they have been at the top of American leadership. I mean, we defeated the Nazis and the Axis in 6 years. We put men on the moon in less time. How much more advanced would humanity be without leaders like Pelosi, I wonder? There are plenty of people reporting and complaining about our leaders and their failures. How many are offering or even pointing to any solutions? The book Solutions, Enough Complaining, Let's Fix America by Chris Osman does and can be found on Amazon or at www.mikesonsentertainment.com. To find out other ways you're being screwed by your current leaders, check out the posts on this blog daily. Learn about the biggest and worst issues that America and its people face today. You can also check into this blog daily to hear about those issues that America and its people will face in the near and distant future. If, however, you would like to discover possible solutions to either mitigate the worst impacts of these issues or solutions to avoid them altogether, keep listening. The problems we face are not as complicated as so many leaders and news reports claim. They are man-made and are only claimed as complicated so those who are responsible can maintain control. For example, there is a persistent argument that moving government is like turning a cruise ship around. It is supposedly a long process that can only be achieved incrementally. While this may be true for laws and policies that benefit the majority of Americans, it does not seem to be so for that smallest of American minorities. When one examines the policies and laws that benefit that minority, known as the elite or the rich, the speed at which those laws are passed is exponentially faster. While most of us sit on the deck chairs, waiting for the Titanic to avoid the myriad of icebergs of which we seem to continually run afoul, the elite ride comfortably in speedboats. If according to our Constitution all men are created equal, why do the rich live quite different lives than the rest of us? Where is our speedboat? In 2018, Chris Osman wrote a book highlighting the problems humanity would face if more power, wealth, and control were funneled to a small group of individuals, groups, or organizations. In that book, Mr. Osman provided solutions, from himself and others, to the inevitable problems we would all face. In it, he also provided a means for the public to analyze, compare, and contrast the words and deeds of those we've chosen to follow against our real-world experiences. To this end, Mr. Osman provides the means for readers to disseminate information as provided by their news sources of choice, their elected officials, and any other authority they choose to follow. The book, titled Solutions, Enough Complaining, Let's Fix America offers a means to hold leaders up, not just to a higher standard than is currently accepted, but to one that will improve lives. The devil you know is still a devil. Click the link below and get your copy of Solutions today.